Om Shri Sai Ram. Loving pranams at Bhagawan's lotus feet. By Swami's grace, we continue the exploration of the glory and beauty and grandeur of the Bharatiya culture, taking Sri Sathya Sai Vahini, which Bhagawan had initially referred to as the Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini, as the basis. We move on to the chapter which is titled The One Alone. Now, the first line in this chapter written by Bhagawan is very interesting, and I quote. Bhagawan says, the very first experience in the history of the Indian thought is the thrill of wonder. I repeat, Swami says the very first experience that the sadhaka has in the history of Indian thought. Sadhaka has is not Swami's words, I am just adding it. He says the very first experience in the history of Indian thought is the thrill of wonder. That got me thinking. Just think about this. The closer you get to any form of God, Bhagawan in our case, for example, the first thing that you experience when you come close to Bhagawan is the thrill of wonder. Now, Bhagawan would often say that there are many cars, C-A-R-S cars, which take him, closer to him in the journey to him. And the first car he refers to is the Chamatkar, or what he refers to as the miracle. It is very natural for him, but we refer to it as miracles. So you have Chamatkar, then you have Sanskar, then you have Paropakar, and ultimately he takes you to Sakshatkar. So the first one is Chamatkar, or miracles. Then of course Samskar, he refines you. Paropakar, he teaches you to see him in everybody and make every action as an opportunity to get closer to him. Para plus Upa plus Kara. Para is the Lord, Upa is closer, Kara is that which causes. So he helps us to convert every single action as an offering to him. Every act is an act of seva and something which takes us closer to him, and that ultimately leads to Sakshatkar, realization of our reality, which is that we are a reflection of Bhagawan himself. But the entire journey starts with Chamatkar, or the sense of wonder, and that's what you notice first about God. You hear his leelas, you hear his mahimas, which gives you goosebumps as a devotee. There are many experiences which come to mind, but I feel prompted to share an experience narrated by a devotee who was working in Bhagawan's educational institution. One day, this teacher was looking out of the window of the room in which this teacher was residing, and it happened that that window was exactly facing the window of Swami's room in Vrindavan, the mandir in Bangalore, Swami's mandir in Bangalore. And suddenly this teacher sees something amazing. In the sky, the teacher notices two moons, not just one, but there's an extra moon there. And the teacher is amazed and filled with wonder. And suddenly the wonder increases as one of the moons actually come down, it descends and almost comes to the level of the window in Swami's room. And to the utter amazement of the teacher finds that this moon goes into Swami's room. This light goes into Swami's room. And the person is totally amazed and is really wondering whether what the person saw was real or was just a product of that person's own imagination. Next day, luckily, this devotee got an opportunity to mention this to Bhagawan, and Bhagawan clarified, and in a very natural, matter-of-fact manner, nothing dramatic, Bhagawan very simply says, that light which you saw was Brahma, the creator, Lord Brahma. He had come to meet me. That is what it is. Just imagine. So, gives you goosebumps. So, in Swami's Suprabhatam, when you say, Shrutva tavadbhuta charitram akhanda kirtim. Shrutva tava adbhuta charitram akhanda kirtim. Having listened to your glorious life story, your glorious leelas, your mahimas, and of akhanda kirtim, which is infinite, which is inexhaustible. Thousands of experiences. If you speak to anybody, in fact, it'd be an interesting question to ask people, what brought you to Swami? And I think if you just make a compilation of that book, it'll be a storehouse of wonder, awe and wonder, and that's what you experience. And suddenly you realize in whose presence you are, the Lord, who's your Guru, His glory. You suddenly realize at that point of time, it gives you goosebumps. Thousands of experiences which people have, crores of experiences, I would say. And not just that, every single experience I've realized that suppose in a particular experience with Bhagawan, 4 or 5 people who are present, often it has amazed me that I think it's one experience, but if there are 5 people, it's 5 different experiences, because from each one experiences that episode differently. So even to one experience, there are multiple angles. So absolute wonder, the chamatkar, what we refer to as miracles, like Swami says, Niku chamatkaram kani naku sahajam. He says, for you it is a miracle, but for me it is natural. So that's the first thing which strikes a sadhaka, a devotee, the sense of wonder. And that is what takes you to the subsequent steps of, after chamatkar, you go to, you want to get closer to this divinity. That's when you get refined, which is, it attracts you. It attracts the mind, a sense of wonder. Anything which is, which arouses wonder automatically attracts you. And the mind starts focusing on it. And as a result of which, the mind gets purified, samskar, and then is employed in paropakar. And then ultimately it leads to Sakshakar. Bhagawan talks about this beautiful, beautiful, fantastic aspect of the Bharatiya culture in this portion of the chapter of the Sati Sai Vahini, the Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini. By Bhagawan's grace, we'll continue to explore the grandeur of the Bharatiya culture in the subsequent episodes. Jai Sai Ram.